come back and win. First team, second team, come back and win.
This is the NBA Storyteller.
Anybody ever seen one of these lists before and just eat it up like gospel? I made a video recently, or not, well, at least in relation to when I'm writing this. In the video, I put up an excerpt from a Bleacher Report article titled 10 Times Jordan Was a Asshole, or I don't know, something. And in that article, they recount an encounter Muggsy Bogues had with, you guessed it, Michael Jordan in the 1995 playoffs. And the Charlotte Hornets played the Chicago Bulls. The series was tied at 2, and the Hornets had a chance to win Game 5 in Chicago. On the biggest possession of the game, Muggsy had the ball with the Hornets down by 1. Michael Jordan backed off him and told him, "Shoot it, you f***ing midget." Muggsy shot it. It didn't come close. A year later, Muggsy actually told a gentleman by the name of Johnny Batch, the man recounting the story, that he believes that single play ruined his career. His shot never recovered. Do you really genuinely think Muggsy Bogues is fazed by a person calling him a midget? This story is a stretch if I've ever heard one. Do you mean, and I mean you and you, do any of you think Muggsy was so shook by a single earthbound human calling him a midget, shook him to his core to the point where he trembled every time he held the ball after? I mean, it's not even smart. It's just obvious. It's not savage or ruthless, it's simple. Moreover, and I'm sure Muggsy has heard this comment at least 5 times every day since picking up a basketball. He literally works with giants on a daily basis. His jersey is a triple extra small. That's the shit he faces. His shoes could fit inside another player's shoes, he's so small. You think this guy craps his pants because one guy known for his non-compassion and trash talk said the most obvious thing in our galaxy? That this destroyed him to the point of professional incompetence, professional incontinence? The things he's done his whole life and exceeded at.
That's a sight. 5'3" Muggsy Bogues.
Rob of his soul with a 3rd grade insult. Good Lord, folks, get better stories. This isn't even like the Rodney McRae story, where he trash-talked him in practice every day to the point where the man lost his confidence. This is one encounter. I mean, for Chief's sakes, his name is Muggsy. Muggsy. It already sounds like a euphemism for midget, and he's okay with it. Okay, but this isn't just a rant. We've got evidence. They say he fell off. The legend goes, his shot never recovered after that day in 1995. Well, let's first take a look at the actual moment here. Let's look at the monumental moment that ruined the man's career.
Muggsy open, takes that baseline.
And there it is. That right there. Muggsy, more than 25,000 minutes played, more than 6,000 field goal attempts. It was that 1.2 seconds, that minor interaction, that ruined him. But now that we've seen the moment and we've heard the story, does it matter? No, because we can prove it. Because we can blow the roof off this with one simple statistic. Let's spend 8 seconds disproving it. Alright, let's go ahead and check this out. Muggsy Bogues, basketball reference, googly, 1995. Let's go ahead and check that year out. 95. Played almost the whole season. 47% from the field. Yikes. Shot pretty poorly from 3. Okay. Let's see the next year. Oh, injured. Can't recover in an injured year. But they say, as the legend says, his shot never recovered. Never recovered. All right, 1996, 97. Let's see here. Played the whole abbreviated season. Played nearly 30 minutes a game, recovering off of an injury. Looks like shots recovered. 46% from the field. Oh, look at that. Effective field goal rate, highest of his career. Free throw percentage, highest of his career. The next season, 3-point percentage, highest of his career. You know what I think I see here? I think I see a lie. I think I see some fraud. I think I see a man who recovered his shot after being out a year. On top of that, a year after this moment in 1995 would have been in 1996 when the man wasn't even playing basketball. So, of course the shot hadn't recovered. Why the hell would he say that his shot and his career was ruined after just a year and he was injured? Okay, this is a shame. This is a shame. But there's more to this. There's more than just disproving a myth. Let's go further back and dig into this and figure out how it started. Let's expose the fraud that flopped this out onto our table. All right, let me get that good music. Let me get that vengeful music. Good. So what mouth did this lazy, conveniently buttoned up anecdote slither out of? Googly, typing sounds, typity type, googly Google. Okay, I see. A former Bulls assistant coach. The fine gentleman's name is Johnny, like I mentioned. Johnny Back. I see he's a World War II vet. Seems like a stand-up guy, patriotic guy. Dead. Okay, I'm not here to defame the dead. Furthermore, a war vet. I'm not here to crap on the dead, but sometimes the need is greater than the deed. And you know what's sad? When you look at all these sites that have spread this, literally every bit of coverage has the exact same quote. A year later, he told me.
A year later,
Ruined my shot.
never recovered.
Is that the proof? There's virtually no way to get behind this. This is single sourced, and 66% of the people involved with this story are alive. And so it all spawns back to a tipster anonymously recounting a dinner where an old-ass man makes stuff up from his Bulls assistant days and his few days with the Hornets. This, my friend, is how legends are made. The Liberty old crusty socialites. And don't get it confused, by the end this man was just a socialite, clinking glasses, patting butts, and sharing war stories. The liberty they take with the truth. This man is the kind of guy who takes parts of stories, behind the scenes of things he's seen or heard in real life, gets drunk and conveniently brings them out onto the table like a set of Dust Bowl era dirt farming turnips, and puts a nice pink bow on them for a nice tidy conclusion, all for a giggle and a smile. Let's dig into this. Let's dig into his set. Apparently he likes to start with a little Scottie Pippen escapades with Madonna. It gets the crowd in the mood. Then he dives into some fat Barkley tales. Remember, it is important that these lies are bathed in truth. Then, just as a bridge, he commences to discredit a great man's accomplishment and resilience with a 32-second anecdote that is not true, because we've proved it not to be true. But let's humor Johnny. Sure, let's say, I don't know, a year later, in a casual conversation, Muggsy strolls up to Johnny because he respects him so much and has so much in common. He leans in and tells him, you know, Johnny, do you remember that 1.3 second encounter I had with Michael Jordan exactly 1 year ago? And Johnny leans in and says, Muggsy then explains that, well, Mr. Batch, you know, Mr. due to the respect he deserves, Mr. Batch, I haven't been able to shake that. I mean, I've lived through so much, but I can't shake it. And my shot has never recovered. Trusty Johnny's crusty flaky eyebrows raise as he is struck with the vision of his second act talking shit at dinners. And you know that's what he did. Johnny made a social living out of sharing these stories as a way to get invited to the next party, as a sole method to graze young women in the coat closet. Is it true? Those are the rules, right? The man was in World War II. I know he has some fun bunker hole stories he could share from that little experience. Why continue to include slander of a good, proud, triumphant man in your set? But unfortunately, Johnny has been on an extended date with the dirt, so let's check in with the living. Let's see how Muggsy's dealt with this chasing him his entire life. He's never referenced it. He's never mentioned this publicly. Nobody's ever asked him about it. You'd think this story would haunt him. How is this not chasing him everywhere he goes? But nobody in real life has asked him? Let's say this is real. Maybe there's a chance this statement is dripping with sarcasm or dismissiveness. Yeah, Johnny, you ever think of that? I don't think my shot ever recovered. You dumb piece of... Also, if we know anything about Michael Jordan, he loves his own legends and tells you all about them.
I looked at him, I said, how bad is the headache? Depending on how bad the headache.
And oddly, this man whose career he's verbally or adjectively dismantled, Michael Jordan's not running around touting this story. Instead, he speaks highly of Muggsy.
What did I think about Muggsy Bogues? 5'3" guy, played in the NBA, quickest guy I've ever seen, played NBA basketball, and he is the epitome of what determination means. No matter how big you are, you still play with the big guy.
People he hates, people he dislikes, people he ruins, he doesn't speak highly of. You know what Michael Jordan did? You know what's not just a legend? A year later, Muggsy was in his movie. So, Be cautious, keep your heads up, and question everything. At least if it's Jordan related.